You've heard it your whole life. They don't make cars like they used to. And yeah, sometimes it's just nostalgia. But then you see a 1999 Camry with 280,000 miles, a Crown Vic that refuses to die, or a 90s Honda still starting every morning. And you start wondering, why do old cars seem to live longer? Were they actually built better, or did the world change around them? First, define lasting. Most people don't mean the car stays perfect. They mean it keeps running with problems, it's cheap enough to keep fixing, and it doesn't get financially totaled by one failure. Modern cars can absolutely reach 200,000 miles. Some go way beyond that, but old cars often stayed on the road longer because they were easier to keep alive. That's the key. Older cars had fewer systems that could fail. No radar in the bumper, no lane keep cameras, no giant touchscreen controlling the climate, no dozen computers talking to each other all day. A lot of older cars were mostly engine, transmission, fuel system, basic sensors, basic wiring. If something went wrong, the car often still drove you home. Modern cars are rolling networks. One sensor can throw a warning, disable features, trigger limp mode, or cause weird electrical issues that take hours to diagnose. Fewer parts, fewer modules, fewer sensors equals fewer failure points. That's not magic, it's math. Here's the brutal truth. Many cars don't die mechanically, they die financially. Older cars, parts are often cheaper, labor is simpler, DIY is realistic, and independent shops can fix most issues without special access. Modern cars. Many parts are integrated into one expensive assembly, programming and calibration are common, and even simple repairs can involve scan tools, software resets, and hours of labor. So you get a bill like $3,500 on a car worth $7,000. At that point, owners don't say, "I'll fix it." They say, "I'm done." And a car that could have run another 80,000 miles gets scrapped. A lot of older cars had more margin. Not always because companies were generous, because engineering was more conservative. Engines were often bigger for the power they made, less stressed, less dependent on perfect oil and perfect cooling, and designed before fuel economy and emissions targets got extremely aggressive. Modern engineering is laser optimized. Lighter materials, tighter tolerances, more power from less displacement. It's brilliant, but less forgiving. Modern cars aren't worse. They're built to hit. Fuel economy standards, emission standards, safety standards, performance expectations, and a competitive price all at the same time. Something has to give. Often, it's repairability and forgiveness. One word that explains a lot: heat. Many older cars were naturally aspirated. They ran simpler and cooler under stress. Modern cars often use small turbo engines to get big power and better MPG. But turbos mean higher pressure, higher temps, and more stress, more often. Add modern systems, direct injection, EGR strategies, catalytic converters working harder, complex evaporative emissions controls. It's all designed to be cleaner and more efficient. But more complexity plus more heat equals more opportunities for wear. Seals harden, plastics crack, oil breaks down faster, and small problems snowball. And if you're the type of owner who skips maintenance, old cars sometimes survive that. Modern cars punish it. People love to blame electronics. But electronics can be reliable. The real issue is cost and integration. Think of a smartphone. It works great for years until a small internal part fails. The phone isn't dead, it's just not worth repairing. Same with modern cars. A single module, camera, or sensor system can cost so much that it pushes the car into not worth it territory. Older cars had electrical problems too. But fewer modules, simpler wiring, and cheaper fixes meant they stayed alive longer. And here's the mental trap: survivorship bias. You don't see the old cars that already disappeared. Rust, overheating, cheap designs, bad maintenance, millions died early. The ones you still see are the legends, the overbuilt, the well-maintained, the simple and durable models. So it's not that every old car was a tank, it's that the tanks are the ones that made it to 2026. Old cars lasted longer because they were simpler, cheaper to fix, and more forgiving. New cars are safer, cleaner, faster, but more complex, and expensive failures can end them early. If you want part 2, which modern cars actually hit 300,000 miles and why, subscribe.